that they have the resources that they need so that they can better experience all that we have to offer through the Girl Scout leadership experience. One example of this, and some of you who have been Girl Scouts with us for a while or part of the council for a while, know that at our camps, we've made some significant investments to build amenities and improve our facilities so that there's more to do at our camps. Things like our state-of-the-art pickleball courts, our basketball courts. We've worked on the pool at Jockey Hollow, completely refurbished it, built out our archery program, have really focused on improving the equestrian areas at our camps. So we've made a lot of investments over the past couple of years to improve our offerings. And we're very excited for this next stage in the plan, which is to transform our Paramus Service Center to become our Girl Scout DreamLab. And we're really super excited about this. And that's why I'm here to talk to you today. The way that this is going to work is that I'm going to give you an overview about the Girl Scout DreamLab. Keep in mind, we have 19,000 Girl Scouts and 10,200 adults in our council. So we want to provide a platform for people to provide feedback, share ideas as we are in the very early stages of building out this space. So after I share an overview, we will open it up for some questions, which you can put into the chat. Some of our staff are on so that they can feed the questions to me, and I will try to answer them live here. After that, there is a survey that will be open for a while for members today to participate in the survey.
Sandra, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay, Donna, I think I got muted. Okay, I'm not sure where I cut off.
Survey.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that, everybody. We need everybody to stay on mute until we're ready to allow you to have some time for questions, although those are going to be in the chat. So we're trying to keep these on mute. So Donna, if you could just please watch out for my mute so I don't go off. Thank you. Great. So let me go back to the survey. It's really important for us to make sure that we hear you. And so, again, with a council this large, we want to make sure that we have an opportunity for everybody to share their ideas or feedback so that we're able to incorporate it into our plans. It's important to know that we're in the early stages of this project. We're working with a partner through Girl Scouts of the USA, as well as a local architecture firm in order to build out this DreamLab. And this is a great time to share with us some of your thoughts and ideas. So with that, Donna, I'm going to ask you to share the first slide, which is actually for us, slide 2, where it says, "What is a Girl Scout DreamLab?" Next slide, Donna. Great. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Great. So what is a Girl Scout DreamLab? So the Girl Scout DreamLab is a licensed agreement with Girl Scouts of the USA. And why I mention that is because the Dream Labs that are being built across the country, and I'll share with you in a few minutes where they are and where they're coming, are look and feel the same everywhere. And that's really great because it helps make sure that Girl Scouts of today and tomorrow know that there is a place that they can go to have really meaningful experiences across our 4 pillars of STEM, entrepreneurship, life skills, and the outdoors. The Dream Lab is has several components, which I'm going to go through in a few minutes. And we have tremendous opportunity with our Dream Lab because of the footprint that we have at our Paramus Service Center. So what do I mean by that? Our Paramus Service Center is just under 12,000 square feet. And when we originally started looking at the Girl Scout Dream Lab, we were looking at footprints of about 5,000 square feet. So understandably, we have some additional opportunity at our Paramus Service Center. And we're very excited about what I'll say are 5 major components to our Dream Lab. So here they are. First, is that we have office space. So we've always had offices in our Paramus Service Center. We will continue to have offices there, and that's so we have people in place to help serve you better. Second is retail. We've always had retail. We're making it a little bigger, doing some extra things. And retail is an important part so that you can get all the things you need for Girl Scouting and more. So that will still be part of our Dream Lab. Then there's the Dream Lab footprint itself. So again, the look and feel of this space is the same from council to council as they've been implemented, with some nuances, but really wonderful spaces. I'm going to go through some of the specifics in a minute. Another important component of our Dream Lab is making sure that we have storage and assembly areas. And that's really important for things like Girl Scout cookie season. Where do cookies go? Or all these wonderful opportunities that we're going to have at the Dream Lab to have lectures, programming, meetings, lots of things where maybe you need 70 chairs, maybe you need a different table setup. Want to make sure that we have lots of space to house all the things that we need to have the flexibility to offer you the opportunity to have varied experiences at our Girl Scout Dream Lab. And then one thing I'm extra excited about in our space is the fact that we have something that we're calling extra dream spaces, where we're going to be thinking about other areas that we might have that lend themselves to more specific programming. And again, I'm going to get into that in another slide. I will tell you that we're very inspired by 2 things. One is museums. We're inspired by museums and the fact that museums have rotating exhibits and key spaces that are always there, but there's always a reason to go back. And that's something that we're thinking about with the Girl Scout Dream Lab. We want you to have reasons to come there, and to come back with frequency, to come and have experiences socially, to have experiences with your Girl Scout sisters, with sisters you don't know, having opportunities to participate in lots of different programming. And we're also inspired by the community center model, thinking about what does this mean for the family? If I'm a mom dropping off my daughter and I have 2 toddlers in tow, what can they do at the Girl Scout Dream Lab while their daughter is participating in a Girl Scouting experience? So we're trying to think about all the things that we need to bring to our Girl Scout Dream Lab so that there are more considerations around family engagement as well. So with that, I'm going to ask Donna to move to the next slide. I want to tell you a little bit about where the Girl Scout Dream Labs are right now. So you can see this list here. I know that everybody's able to read. The first Girl Scout Dream Lab opened almost 2 years ago, and on March 12th, on Girl Scout birthday in Colorado. And there are a number of Dream Labs that are located across the country. Fun fact is that Girl Scouts of Central and Southern New Jersey opened their North Brunswick Dream Lab location, I believe in August or September of 2023. Our staff, board, and property committee have been to the location so that we can have eyes on firsthand what this looks like. So we have a sense of what we're building off of. As Girl Scout Dream Labs have been rolled out across the country, there have been several iterations and things that we're thinking about. We're also learning about some of the programming and operations that we want to consider. So I'm going to give you a live example, but a lot of the area around the STEM exploration was carpeted. And I think, as you could see in the picture on the bottom of the screen here, girls doing slime or girls doing experiments, they kind of realize, you know what, maybe carpet isn't the best thing around that area. We need to think about tile. So I'm happy that we're in what I'll call phase 3 of the Girl Scout DreamLab rollout, so that we have some of those experiences to inform some of the decisions that we're making. I'm going to ask Donna to move to the next slide, please. Okay. So what does a Girl Scout DreamLab look like? I'm sorry, again, I have a slight cold. I'm sorry. Want to share from these four pictures that you see here. One fantastic component of DreamLabs is that we have a media podcast room. So what you see there on the left is a technology, a current technological space that allows girls to come in and actually create media podcasts. So this is something really exciting because girls not only have the experience to come in and do media podcasts, but we're also thinking about the evolution even of college applications. We're hearing, and my girls are already in or out of college, so I'm not even in the current application process, but we're hearing that there's more of a need for video and podcasting as part of submissions. So what a great place to be able to do that. So this is for everyone of every age, but we're very excited to have a media podcast room as part of our DreamLab. As you can see here, these are some of the standard design features of a DreamLab. So as you look at the artwork on the walls, as you look at the serpentine benches, they're designed with flexibility. There's space underneath for things like games, to have socialization, some like easy crafts or things to do, some fun activities that you can pull out at any time. But these spaces are flexible to accommodate lots of girls or adults or the mix of both as needed. We want to be able to have large space for gatherings, whether that's your local Gold Award celebrations, in addition to what we offer council-wide, or thinking about trainings or those type of things. So there's some flexible areas there to do that. On the third picture, what you're seeing is part of a STEM area. We really want to make sure that our girls are having the opportunity to have more experiences in STEM. And so there are areas for kind of like a lab area, and we're going to ensure that we have the resources so that girls are able to do things. So whether that means us having microscopes on hand, many of you know, and many of you may not, that we have a robotics program, want to be able to provide space and the tools so that girls can have different experiences that they may not have had access to before at the ready. So that's important. And then the last thing that you're seeing here, these are just, more of some of the retail space, some of the other assembly space. I think this one here is a little bit of a maker space. So we're thinking about some of those things in our DreamLab so that we can make sure that we're offering different experiences. The next slide gives some more pictures to this, a little bit more here. So again, experience space, and you could see it's very open. We have flexibility in the DreamLab to kind of close off the space or keep it open. So again, thinking about flexibility. An important thing, I'm going to go to the area that says STEM Lab. If you look on the right there, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Not a good day to start losing my voice. I apologize. If you see there are areas with pink curved walls and what is actually banquettes. There are little areas where you can sit they really lend very well to tutoring spaces. And I know that we were just talking to some candidates for the Girl Scout representatives to our board. And one of the candidates talked about how she was tutoring younger Girl Scouts. And I think that's wonderful, not only from the opportunity to give back to a younger Girl Scout, but also for that mentorship piece. These are spaces that you can gather. You could sit with a cup of coffee, but you can also have tutoring. Like there's lots of flexibility there. And then again, on the top right is that MediaPod booth. Very cool, awesome feature of the DreamLab. I'm going to move on to the next slide. Again, we're doing this at our Paramus Service Center. This is actually a really nice picture of the Paramus Service Center. I'm going to have you unshare the screen for a minute, Donna, just so I can keep talking about some of the things that we're going to have at the DreamLab. We'll share one more slide, and then I'm going to open it for some questions. So just going back to a few things that I want to highlight. We're thinking about everything in this space. So here's a fun fact that I want to share about our current space in Paramus. When you go into our current space, there are nicks in all the corners of the walls. And why is that? It's because every time we have cookies and we're moving cookies from one place to another, or we have a membership gathering and we're bringing all these fun activities to the girls who are going to be participating. And we've put together hundreds of kits and things so that girls can have experiences. We're wheeling them out and we're knocking into the walls. And that's because we're not intentional about where those spaces are relative to how they get into the elevator. And so we're thinking about how do we build this space so we know where to house the cookies so we don't bang up the walls. We're thinking about many different aspects of the experience, not only that we want you to have, but we want to offer out. We were purposeful in deciding to transform our Paramus Service Center for several reasons. One is we own the building. It makes sense for us to invest in a property that we own. It also is located in a key area of our council. Bergen County has a tremendous legacy to our council, and we're excited about the amount of girls that are able to directly access the Paramus Service Center from within a half-hour mile radius. I do want to say to our Girl Scouts and families in Sussex and Warren counties, we're still thinking about you as well and how to best serve you. Stay tuned. There's more to come. We're thinking about you. And we know this is a destination location. So when you come here, you can be here for hours at a time to have experiences. The Paramus Service Center is also in an area that many of our community engagement initiatives our community engagement outreach program can access the Paramus Service Center. So again, girls can come out of communities that are being served through staff-led programming and have experiences there as well. So there's a lot of reasons why we were looking at this location. Other considerations that we have, I mentioned we're inspired by the community center model. We're thinking about the family. So again, we serve girls from 5 to 18. We're thinking about families. What do they need? We're thinking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is at the core of everything that we do. So we are thinking about everything from modernizing our elevators so that it can better accommodate wheelchairs and also, even cookies. We've got lots of stuff that go in that elevator. Want to make it, a little bit bigger. We're thinking about children with special needs, overstimulated children, a calm down room, an area where a breastfeeding mother might be able to go in privacy. We're thinking about all gender or family bathrooms. So there's a space for those who need it to go into a private bathroom. So those are other considerations in our mix. We also are thinking about the experience from the time you join us in the parking lot. We're thinking about health and safety, lighting, handicap parking spots, The experience when you get into the base of that building, the lighting, the colors, the stairwell, using the stairwell, really trying to think through when you get up into the space, where do you check in? What does it look like? Where do the staff enter? Where can you go? And I'm going to end with a point about this being a tremendous programmatic opportunity for our community. We want to think differently about the way that we're able to offer the Girl Scout leadership experience. So we are thinking about everything such as technology in the Dream Lab. We're going to have a giant conference room. It can house about 20 people around a table, but the table can also be broken up. We've got technology there. So, you know what? Girl Scouts is a worldwide program. Maybe you want to have a conversation with Girl Scouts in France. You'll be able to do that because we're going to have the technology there to have Zoom meetings with ease. We're thinking about, again, flexibility, lecture style programs, a messy art space, potential lounging and game areas to foster social connections, spaces that may be able to accommodate community health or financial literacy initiatives. As I mentioned, spaces for tutoring or studying. We want this to be a place that you come to and frequent, and you come with your troop, you can come alone, you can come with your family. We're really excited about it. Donna, I'm going to ask you to share the final slide on the screen, and then we will open it up for questions. Okay, so I just want to share where we are and what the timeline looks like for the Dream Lab to be open. So we are in the design phase. Why we're hosting this town hall now is because we're still looking for your feedback. We want to be thoughtful about some great ideas that we may hear about that may feed opportunities for space or later programming within the Dream Lab. We are expecting to start construction potentially around June. This is still being worked out. And that's because we're working with our architects. I don't have plans to share yet because we're still listening. We're thinking through some of these things. We have a good sense of what it will look like, but we still have some opportunity areas, and that's really what we're listening for. We're going to continue to listen. We have, if you don't know, 3 Girl Scouts who sit on our board of directors. They represent our community, and we want to hear from them as they go out and ask questions about the things that our Girl Scouts may want to see. And it's not just our girls. We want to hear from adults too. Our girls are in school between the hours of generally 9 and 3. We're thinking about the hours of operation. Not 100% sure yet, but expect to be open in the after school hours, early evenings, weekends. So need to think about what that looks like. We're not there yet, but we're listening so that we're able to make sure that we're open so that we can serve our community. And with all of this, we expect the Dream Lab to be open in, we're saying early 2026, we're saying spring of 26. We don't quite know yet. Spring is basically here. We're not sure yet if that's going to be March or it's going to be May. We're again listening and need to work with our architects to build it out. I promise you that we will offer transparency as we go forward. And Donna, you can unshare the screen. Thank you for having this up. I promise you that we will share transparency. Our team is committed to making sure that you know what is happening with as much early lead time as we can provide. Our intention is to be open and serve you as much as possible. If there becomes a time that we are not able to do that, we will have alternate plans, and we'll make sure to communicate that well ahead of time. So please bear with us and know that we are working on this together and are very excited. So with that, I'm going to pause and have a sip of tea, and I'm going to open it for questions, which I believe are going to be handled through the chat. There are a lot of people on this call. We're going to try to answer some of them, and then please know we're going to take the feedback, and we can look at other times that we can either do this again. And one important thing I do have to share is that on April 5th, we have our leadership summit. And at that leadership summit, our troop leaders and service unit managers are invited. I will be speaking about the DreamLab in depth, and that will be live. That's in person. Join us if you're not currently registered, because that is another time that I can share more about the DreamLab and answer other questions that you may have, and another time for you to share feedback from your service units or troops if you're listening and want to share some of this that you heard today. So I think I'm going to ask Mia to maybe share some of the questions. I can't see all of them, so I'm going to ask Mia to kind of dive into some, and I will answer as best I can. If we don't answer, we will make sure they're answered on the website, and we'll make sure that we're not ignoring your questions. So thank you.
Hi, Sandra. So I'm going to read some of the ones. There's a few in the chat so far, and we also received some prior to the town hall that people sent in because they couldn't be here today. So I'll go through some of those. First one here is, over here in Morristown, we're a little concerned with the location of the DreamLab, specifically that the geographical distance for our members is very difficult. Could you please advise what days and times programming will be available, specifically whether Sundays will have programming, given that it's in Bergen County, and also will it be open in summertime, school breaks, etc.?
Okay, so we're not quite there yet, but I can tell you that we're committed to serving our Girl Scout community. So with regard to Bergen County and Sundays, we can't have retail on Sundays, but we can be open for programming. And again, we want to consider who this is for. So the primary audience for this are our Girl Scouts, and Girl Scouts are in school between 9 and 3, 5 days a week. So it's important for us to be able to serve the community as much as possible. We're very much looking at, being open 6 or 7 days a week, and want to make sure that we are thinking about all the things. We're not quite there yet, but that is all being considered. So I appreciate the question. And again, we're thinking about who's accessing this and what that looks like. So we'll absolutely be taking that into consideration.
Okay. Are there any thoughts about opening a cafe within the DreamLab?
Okay, excellent question. Cafes are not a component of DreamLabs. This is something that comes up a lot. That said, we're happy to offer a cup of coffee, but it is not going to be a place where there is a cafe. We will have the ability, if you're having an event or if we're hosting an event, to have catering and that type of thing. So we will have an area available. I should mention, the Girl Scout DreamLabs are not with commercial kitchens either. So these are not built with the opportunity to necessarily do those deep dive cooking programs. That doesn't mean you can't have any cooking programs, but I want to be thoughtful about the fact that there's not going to be a commercial kitchen with, a big stove and all of that. But we are thinking about how do we have space so that if we, need food or those type of things, that we're able to do it.
Okay, the next question was exactly that about the kitchens, so you've answered that.
Okay.
Is there a plan to have troops book private time for their troop to have access to the space? For example, a particular troop can reserve the STEM lab space for a slime event or for their troop only.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm gonna draw on my community center experience. I came from a community center model, so I'm just going to say yes, yes, yes. We want everybody to come to this space, and we're going to make sure that if you have a specific need, that you are able to reserve the space that you want. This is about, I like to call this a hub of sisterhood. So there can be lots of different troops or people coming together in the space. Again, one of the great things about our Dream Lab versus some other councils is that we have these extra spaces available. We have extra rooms, and they're sizable, where we can have these awesome experiences happening alongside each other. And we can section things off so that they're private, more private, or more public. So, depending on the needs, yes, you will be able to do that. And I don't know, there's a lot we need to dive into with operations. Right now, we're in the capital part of the plan, but I promise you, as the operations side is being thought through, we will share the intention behind hours, reservations, and how that will all work. But yes.
This is a really cool question. Is there an outdoor area for farming?
Excellent question. And the answer is no. However, we're in a great place in Paramus, and I don't know between our community partners in the area where we might have a nice relationship, and there can be something, not too far away. So those are great things to think about, and an excellent idea for us to consider in programming.
Are you just working with the space that's already there, or are there any plans to expand up or out?
The space that is there, but it is a significant transformation. I should share. It's not only the interior of the building, it's also the exterior of the building that is being completely transformed. So we're thinking about everything that we need to do to make sure that this building is thriving for many, many years into the future.
Will there be charges associated with the lab? Obviously programs, but what if you just want to come in and hold a meeting?
Excellent question. And I love this. And I'm so excited to say there's a value to your membership at Girl Scouts in Northern New Jersey. And yes, you can come to this space without a charge. And again, there are experiences that you can have here, just hanging out or something more intentional. You're going to have the tools and resources available. So yes, we will have many programs that you can participate in. Some are going to be for free, and some are going to be for a fee. We're looking to have partners in the community that can help us underwrite more experiences, because these spaces are going to be incredible. And we think that, there's going to be so much that you can do. But yes, there's a value to your membership, and you have access to this. Just like you have access to our service centers right now. You have access to our camps and service centers right now. Don't forget, if you want to bring your troop to camp to have a meeting, you could do that. It doesn't cost you. If you want to stay and be there on a encampment, then it does. But that's because we have to make sure that we have the right resources in place for the health and safety. But you please know that you have access to these buildings. This is going to be amazing, and I think you're going to be very happy when you see what we're building.
The next question is, what types of programming is planned for this space?
I'm going to say everything. We want to hear about the many different needs. We have thought through lots of different things. I'm just going to give some examples. A messy art room that gives you the space to do woodworking. It could be paint and sips for adults. So that could be great. We could do, we've talked to our highest award Girl Scouts, our Gold Award Girl Scouts, inviting them in to share their projects with the community or with younger Girl Scouts, hosting movie screenings, hosting lectures, having potential play space, ping pong, just social areas. Again, I mentioned the calm down room or quiet room or breastfeeding room. trying to be intentional about the different spaces that we offer. So I'm not answering the question on all the programming because there's going to be so much. We want to think about what's happening in the world. We talk about at Girl Scouts, we want to keep up at the speed of girls, and that's fast, right? AI is here, technology is here. We need to be keeping up with that. Our current service centers don't have the capability to Zoom with girls in France, but we want to be able to do that. So we have to think about offering you a space to do that. So I don't have all the answers, but we will, and we'll get there.
Will the Steel Magnolias robotics team be relocated to the Dream Lab? And could the Dream Lab accommodate a playing field for robotics competitions?
I'd love that. I'd love to talk to the robotics team more directly about it. I think we have a tremendous opportunity with robotics. So let me just say that for those who don't know, we have an outstanding robotics program. We have an outstanding robotics team. It's small and mighty. They have incredible achievements, and they participate through First Lego League Robotics, which is a national program. They've won awards. The program's been in place for years. I know a fun statistic that 80% of the Girl Scouts who participated in our robotics program went on to pursue careers in STEM. They're amazing. And why can't more girls benefit from robotics? So, I mean, I think it would be great to have a space. I would, we want to talk to the robotics team more directly so that we can think through the needs there. As our architects build out these flexible spaces, I do want to emphasize flexibility. A space one day could be a different space another day. Want to understand what are the needs for robotics. So if there's a specific floor, or I say all the time, if we need 25 outlets in a room because that's what's needed for a program, we want to be thoughtful about building the 25 outlets in the room before we go ahead and do construction.
Will the building of the Dream Lab affect the council registration fee, or is this covered by the sale of Glen Spey and Randolph? Should we be expecting any increases in our fees?
No, so our council service fee is going to remain the same that it's been. There has been an increase. I don't know if people have were aware. From October, there was a special session of the National Council to talk through membership dues. There are increases to national dues. Our council service fee is going to remain flat. So there's a tremendous value to the membership and in that. We're committed to doing so much. I'm going to also say here, we've added a lot to our financial assistance program. We want more girls to have experiences. We're really focused on getting more girls to go to summer day camp. We're committed to doing this and making sure that girls are able to access this space. And we will talk in the future about ways that people can potentially support the work that we're doing. But no, there is no change to the council service fee. That will remain flat.
This is more of a recommendation than a question, and I'll read it because then you can address it with your thoughts on the theater space. This is all very exciting. I love the podcast pod. My suggestions are open mic nights to allow girls to do public speaking and also maybe showcase some talents that they may not feel comfortable doing at a school talent show or an event.
Yes, yes, yes. Love that. I think that's awesome. One of the, I'll call it dream spaces that we're thinking about is really flexible to have, I don't know, maybe about 70 seats in the room. I don't know, maybe amphitheater-esque. We're not quite sure yet. We're not quite sure. We're looking at what the possibilities are. The Dream Lab footprint itself, that the beautiful space that you saw, may be able to see, 100 something. So we want to think about, how do you make that small? How do you make it big? Are you a troupe that wants to practice public speaking and earn one of the badges in that space? Are there opportunities for, performing arts, improv, any of that? So we're thinking about that too.
Are established Dream Labs and other councils proving to help with Girl Scout retention?
Yes, and actually, I don't have data to share. I do want to say I'm very data driven, and I like numbers behind my answers, and I don't have the numbers for you. I am going to a Girl Scout Leadership Summit in April, along with other members of the senior leadership team, where I will be meeting with my colleagues who have Dream Labs in their communities so that I can understand some of the data behind that. I believe that the data helps inform more of our decisions. And I can say with some confidence, though, especially with our older Girl Scouts, I think this is a tremendous opportunity. Also thinking about, too, like alternate ways that, different Girl Scouts access our program, our Juliets. This is a great place for them to come in and be able to gather with others. So we're trying to think about all that with intention. So I will share more as I learn more.
If we're going off of a community center model, will you be opening this to the non-GS community besides parents, families, like Paramus clubs or other organizations?
In some ways, yes. So other organizations are able to come to our camp or do different things. So yes, and we want to be a convener of community. So who are the right partners to work with? I just was at an event on Friday for International Women's Day, and was talking to a business that serves children with special needs. So could they come into the space and do something and have experiences there? Yes. What does that look like? And I don't know, but we want to develop partnerships or program opportunities. I will say also, we think this space could be great for field trips. Again, our girls are in school all day. This is an awesome space. So why not work with our communities to give them some opportunity to come into it? So those are the things we're thinking about. But this is the primary audience is our Girl Scouts and their families. So, need to think about that first.
As a follow-up to the outdoor area for farming, just a thought, possibly a rooftop farm.
I don't know enough about the rooftop to even say anything, but we'll take it and look at it. Thank you.
Have you considered an athletic space for yoga or as a gym?
Not as a gym. Yes, for mental wellness. Yeah, like yoga. Yes.
I would love this to become super successful. If it does, would you consider a Dream Lab 2 somewhere? Or maybe take some of the things in the Dream Lab and make them portable to share out to other service units?
Yes, excellent question. I'll say that in partnership with our board, we're committed to providing resources to our Girl Scouts. So this is an amazing, amazing project. I'm super excited about it. It doesn't mean we're not thinking about the other spaces we have or other spaces we need to have. So again, our jurisdiction is Bergen, Morris, Passaic, Sussex, and the northern half of Warren County. So we want to think of what do we need to do to provide experiences for Girl Scouts in other communities that may not be able to access it, back to the question even from the Morristown group. And yeah, I think there are going to be some great things that we can learn from this that we could bring on the road or to other spaces. So yes.
Will the building be closed during construction?
So I don't know the answer to that yet. Our intention is to be open as long as possible. I don't know. I'm going to assume that at some point it might be closed. However, I don't know that right now, and we will share with you an alternate plan if need be. If that's the case, I will tell you that we know our business. And we're being very thoughtful about the timing of construction and what needs to happen relative to cookie season, relative to your retail needs. So we're thinking about all of that. Please know we will give you as much notice as we can if we need to be closed for any period of time.
Touching on the farming, if the roof isn't an option, could we partner with Van Saun Park down the street?
We love Van Saun Park. Yeah.
That's all the ones in the chat. I just want to give you one that was two that were here that were not yet answered that were previous. Can anyone just walk into the Dream Lab while we're meeting there? Are there safety measures?
Yes, so health and safety is, always of utmost importance to us. So yes, we're building the building with all of that in mind, and also the human resources there to properly greet and check in our guests.
I think everything else you've answered through the other previous questions. Is it for all age levels? And that was one of the questions we got earlier.
Yeah, you know what? It's for every generation. A baby can be there, and we're going to go the whole range. So yes.
Okay, that's all the questions we have then.
Okay. Well, I thank everybody for coming on and speaking with me or listening to me. I know it's a lot of listening. Please know that we really value your feedback. So please take the time to fill out the survey. It's very open-ended on purpose because we want you to dream with us. And, we're really excited. Thank you for being a part of Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey, and just so excited for the future. Lots of great things ahead. And that's one of my favorite things to say. So thank you for joining us today.